Hello everyone, welcome to another how to build character guide. So in this video, we're going to talk about Shalltear Overlord collab. Let's look at her status first. Faction, she's in Dark Faction, Time of Heroes, and Meteor. Now, level 70 max stats. Let's look at the first class here. True Vampire is a demon class. So demon class always has like the best stats. But however, you can get countered by holy. That is why their stat is so good. The trade-off is to get countered. Cursed Knight is what I would recommend if you do play PvP. But if you don't play PvP, I think True Vampire is the way to go. Cursed Knight is a Lancer class. Okay, now we're going to look at her talent here, Vermilion Nova. Because of her talent, I think she's not a very good PvP character. And I'll explain as I go. So the first part is when unit HP is 100%. Remember, HP is 100%, attack plus 10, 13, 16, 20%, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars, and move plus 1, 1, 1. No difference unless you have her at 6 stars and you'll have plus 2 mobility. At the end of action, gain physical shield. The next instance of physical damage is reduced by 50, 55, 60, 70% at 6 stars. The effect cannot occur again for another 3 turns after reducing damage. When you end your action, you'll gain a physical shield, just like Arian's, but only physical. The effect is pretty similar to Arian's as well, even though the reduction is a little bit different than hers. The way to break it is exactly the same. As long as you touch, doesn't matter how much damage you deal. Maybe even if you use a level 1 character, if you deal like 20 damage, you can still break that shield. As long as using a physical attack. That includes AoE and range attacks. And the shield has a 3 turns cooldown after it breaks. One thing I want to clear up is that don't get confused by the first part of the description. This shield does not require the unit to have 100% HP. When this talent cooldown resets, whenever you end your action, you will gain the physical shield. Okay, last part of the talent is when actively attacking in melee and entering battle. After battle, restore life equal to 10 to up to 30% when it's 6 stars of damage dealt. I think this part of the talent is okay. It kind of sucks. So first thing you need to understand is that when actively attacking, you have to be the one attacking. If you get attacked, counter attack, you will not heal. And of course, you have to enter battle at melee range, which actually contradicts with one of her skills. So in conclusion, I think she's a weaker Elwyn and a weaker Brenda. Elwyn, of course, will do a better job because you can heal regardless whenever you enter a battle. The biggest problem is the first part. Again, PvE, easy. PvE always act with your whole team first, and you can easily have her at 100% HP before attacking. But however, when it comes to PvP, even a very weak AoE stop you from activating the first part of the talent. And I think she lacks the damage as a single target damage dealer. I think the second part, the shield part, is great. She can go in without having a tank to support her. I think 3 turns cooldown is a little bit too long, which means in an Apex match, the most you can activate the shield is 4 times because there's only 12 turns. Bonding requirement is very straightforward since she's a collab character. Basically, you need to level up her intimacy to 25 and then unlock both of her class, or I should say master both of her class, and clear the required time rifts. Let's take a look at her skills. So the first skill I'm going to introduce is the Purifying Javelin. Costs 2 cooldown, 3 range to span singles. This is the skill I was referring to that contradicts with her talent. Because as you can see here, the range is 2. Well, of course you can attack at 1 range, but let's talk about it later. So, physical damage attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.3 times damage. Not bad. Melee soldiers also attack. Before battle, dispels 2 buffs from the target. After battle, inflict Curse of Wounding. So, Curse of Wounding is received healing effects are instead converted to damage equal to 10% of the amount healed. Last 1 turn. So it's same as Listo's talent if you're not familiar with this skill. Okay, so don't forget that her talent, if you don't attack in melee range, she's not going to self-heal. I mean, of course, you can attack at melee range with this, but then if you're facing a physical damage, melee damage dealer opponent, you definitely want to use this skill in your advantage so they cannot counter attack you. Other than that, I think this skill is great. dispels 2 buffs from the target before battle, and then after that you inflict Curse of Wounding. I think it's super OP, but again, it's a little bit situational skill, so it depends how you want to use it. Okay, last part of the talent is when actively attacking in melee and entering battle. After battle, restore life equal to 10 to up to 30% when it's 6 stars of damage dealt. I think this part of the talent is okay. It kind of sucks. So first thing you need to understand is that when actively attacking, you have to be the one attacking. If you get attacked, counter attack, you will not heal. And of course, you have to enter battle at melee range, which actually contradicts with one of her skills. So in conclusion, I think she's a weaker Elwyn and a weaker Brenda. Elwyn, of course, will do a better job because you can heal regardless whenever you enter a battle. The biggest problem is the first part. Again, PvE, easy. PvE always act with your whole team first, and you can easily have her at 100% HP before attacking. But however, when it comes to PvP, even a very weak AoE stop you from activating the first part of the talent. And I think she lacks the damage as a single target damage dealer. I think the second part, the shield part, is great. She can go in without having a tank to support her. I think 3 turns cooldown is a little bit too long, which means in an Apex match, the most you can activate the shield is 4 times because there's only 12 turns. Okay, skill swagger cost 2. This skill sucks. Don't even bother using it. I'm not going to go over it. Armor Pierce, cost 2, cooldown 2, range 1, span single. Physical damage, attacks a single enemy dealing 1.5 times damage. So this does more damage than the Javelin, and after battle, inflict defense minus 30% last 2 turns. You can consider bringing this instead of the Javelin, especially after I explain the skill at the bottom, Blood Frenzy. Attack support, cost 2, passive after action, grant 2 allies within 2 blocks damage dealt plus 15% as well as immunity to attack intelligent reduction effects that silent active skills last 1 turn. This skill is good, but it's not good on a DPS. It's good on a support. Especially with her talent, I think you should play her a little bit more aggressive rather than passive, so there's not a lot of situation where you can bring the support passive skill. Okay, Blood Frenzy. This skill is good. Cost 1, passive after actively attacking twice at the end of action may act again. Also gain Frenzy, all damage taken plus 15% as a debuff on your enemy. Last 2 turns cannot be dispelled or immunized. After taking this extra action, this counter starts again. Let's explain the first part. After actively attacking, so you have to attack. You have to attack twice to get this buff. You have 2 stacks of the passive, you can act again. And you will also gain Frenzy, which they will take extra damage plus 50%, and it resets after you act again. I think this skill is really OP if you pair her up with Liana or Florentia, so you can potentially attack 3 times in 1 turn. For example, attack with her, Liana act again, and then attack with her again. Now you can act again, now you attack your 3rd time. In my opinion, this is a skill that you must bring when it comes to Apex. Reinforcement cost 1, passive, after taking action restores 20% HP. This skill is good, but you probably don't have room to bring this in battle. Impure Shockwave Shield. Cost 2, cooldown 5, range 1, span single. So physical damage, attacks a single enemy dealing 1.2 times damage. For every block moved before attacking, damage dealt plus 15% up to 45%, which means if you move 3 blocks, you'll get maximum bonus damage. And before entering battle, inflict enemy with 1 random undispellable debuff that lasts 1 turn. This skill is very strong, does a lot of damage, and even though I haven't introduced her 3C, but after testing it, this does more damage than 3C. You can successfully move 3 blocks. However, I think the cooldown is a little bit too long. Okay, we are finally at our last skill, Awakening skill, 3C, Spewed Lance, cost 3, cooldown 5, range 1, span single. Passive is great, immune to Curse of Wounding and Heal Reversal. So it sounds like she is a counter to Listo and also counter of Branda and Sakura's AoE, in my opinion. The second part is physical damage. Attacks a single enemy dealing 1.7 times damage. That's really high. After battle, the enemy is inflicted with cannot be healed and Blood Curse. Blood Curse is after taking action, take 1 instant of fixed damage equal to 15% of max HP and heal all enemies for the same amount, last 2 turns. This skill effect cannot be dispelled. Okay, sounds very complicated. Let me simplify this. So you're going to deal a very strong attack. After battle, you're going to heal block. And then inflict this called Blood Curse. Basically is when they end their action, it will take fixed damage equal to their current max HP of 15%. And the last part is the most confusing. And heal all enemies for the same amount. This means heals your ally of the same amount. The amount of damage you dealt to the enemy. So for example, if you dealt 6,000 damage to the enemy, you will heal 6,000 HP. Recommended weapon, we have Renarok. I think it's probably her best weapon. Makes her very strong, deals a lot of damage. And I mixed up the description with the Peacemaker in this graphic, so swap that. Peacemaker is also very good on her. If you have a very strong Shalltear and you're facing a Landius, you can prevent him from reviving. However, a lot of people are switching Landius to Lancer, so that might be a little bit hard to one-shot compared to Cavalry. Scarlet Reaper is also a good option if you have Blood Frenzy, because when the enemy's HP is less than 100%, the damage increases and then you'll deal fixed damage after. If you're planning to attack the same target with Blood Frenzy proc, it can help you secure a kill. Recommended armor, Anus armor, I would say for PvE more than PvP. I mean, both are pretty good. For talent, she does do self-healing. You do want to make sure you heal as much as possible. Gaia's armor makes her tankier against magic. Gaia's battle armor I always think is the best armor for physical damage dealers. Physical DPS biggest weakness is magic and 2 range attack. Recommended helmet here, we have Anus helmet. It's good stat wise. Fury of Tyr I think is her best PvP helmet because of the plus 10% skill damage, and when you use this with Blood Frenzy, it can make her much more scary. On top with her talent where she can deal extra damage dealt when she is at 100% HP. Vampire Mask caters more to PvE, but with Blood Frenzy's act again proc, is not a bad helmet when it comes to PvP as well. Recommended accessories, I think Twilight Star is the best, easier to one-shot your enemy when it comes to Apex. Apex Boots is also an excellent choice. Pairing up with her talent, if you have her at 6 stars, you can move up to 6 blocks with Apex Boots. If you don't have any of the previous accessories that I recommended, these two are also really good accessories for her. It's all come to preference at the end of the day. Okay, let's take a look at some of the enchant choices. The first one I recommend is Breeze. I think Breeze is great. So first, the 4-piece gives you a extra damage dealt plus 10%. So you can stack that on top of her talent. And if Breeze procs with Apex Boost, you can potentially move 8 blocks. It will make her a bigger threat, and she can also position herself a little bit better. Okay, second one I have is Rough Sea. When initiating combat, attack plus 10% and damage taken minus 15%. So Rough Sea matches her talent and skills. You have to be the one attacking to gain these effects. You guys might wonder that why is it Rough Sea instead of Full Moon? Full Moon is also good, but I think it's more catered to PvE. You have to have HP above 80%. Rough Sea here, with her shield, she's going to get extra 15% damage reduction. On top of that, she doesn't need to be at 100% health to deal extra damage and damage taken minus 15%. PvP is really hard to sustain your health at 100% at all time. Lastly, I will recommend Meteor. Meteor, when you have 4 pieces, crit damage plus 25%. A lot of people sleep on this enchant in my opinion. Personally use this enchant on Rainforest myself, and when it crits, it does a lot of damage. Okay, now we're going to look at Mastery Stone enchant here. When it comes to the Arena Stones, you want HP, Defense, Attack, Crit, and Crit. Mainly you want to build HP, defense, and attack to make her tankier and deal more damage. However, when it comes to weapon and accessory, it's preference because the defense doesn't give you a lot of points. I would say if you do use Meteor enchant, skill would be recommended instead of defense. And now when it comes to equipment enchant, you mainly want to go for attack, and then you go for defense and then HP. Soldier choices. I think Gargoyles should be her best troops. Pairs up with her skills and talent quite nicely. When she has more HP, she deals more damage. When she has less HP, she's tankier. Amazon Champion is an aggressive Lancer troop and allows you to hard counter cavalry. Also pairs with her talent really well because only when attacking, the Amazon Champion attack increases. Okay, last but not least, we have Undead Knight. Same reason as Amazon Champion. You're attacking other than demons and holy, your attack increases by 30%. Also pairs well with her self-healing. I think she's a fun and good PvE hero that can be used at any stars. But when it comes to Apex, I think her 5 to 6 stars is a big jump. Stars just make her so much better, and I think if you do want to a high rank in Apex, I suggest you level her up to 6 stars. Alright everyone, that is it for this video. I hope you guys have a better understanding of how to use and build her. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.